Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with another one. Back with another one. This is the daily Hump Dump, the 42nd edition, and we got a lot of things to talk about. Saw some interesting things. Last week's been crazy. Yeah, everything is on fire. It's on fire. Yeah, everything's on fire. Let me get set up real quick. Let me get set up real quick because I'm not trying to BS nothing around and stop asking me about shit that don't matter. Yeah. It's been a lot of interesting week. It's been going on, and yeah, the shootings of old boy getting shot. He was a nurse. The female, I ain't gonna say so-called white on white. It's always been that way. They just don't like each other. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. Shouts out to SWP. I'm watching the Heritage Foundation. What he mentions them about. Y'all go check that out. I'm watching it right now on the save, but I'm not watching it right now, not on stream. I'm just pausing it, but I'll go back to it later after I get done with the stream, and then I'll focus on what he's saying. Because he said something recent, and he said, I told you so, and I'm referencing what he's saying on his last couple of videos, and he's been consistent. I've been consistent for like at least 5 years that this was going to happen. I said this, it's going to get physical this year. This is a different year. This is a series. We talk about various things. In March, I won't have a new series. Probably do Wednesday morning streams or some shit. I'll do it. I just got to pick a time and a day to do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to just, you know, I'll pick a day and then do it. Because I'll get ready for those streams and I'll be set on pace. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't figured out the time. Let's just say that it could be morning or the afternoon, but I want it late afternoon. Like I'll say like early afternoon or something like that. I'll try something, or it could be a Thursday stream, but it could be a Wednesday stream. I don't know, but it's going to be catered to this type of topics and things like that. I'm just trying to keep consistent with the live streams and get better at my points that I'm trying to make. So I'm just saying for what's going on. So it is what it is. Yeah, he's talking about the fertility rate, 1933, 2023. I'm gonna watch that later. And there's a lot of things to talk about. It's a lot of things to talk about. Um, got a lot of bullshit in the works in the background. So TikTok denies ICE Epstein censorship, says power outages behind the United States app issues. TikTok blames data center outages for U.S. app problems, denies censorship, claims TikTok is pointing to the fallout of power outages at one of its data centers and explaining recent reports of censorship and glitches impacting users. This is an article that I found. Shouts out to the boys, but I just posted this by CNBC. That's what they reported. They said a key number of users have accused the platform of censorship, censoring certain political positions, including the word Epstein. And also, California Governor Gavin Newsom said he would launch a review of the allegations, and that's not good. That means they don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. And ownership shift follows U.S. pressure on ByteDance over national security risk. Yeah, ByteDance, man, it's not good. It's not looking good for them. Nobody likes ByteDance. And here's the thing. I'm just going to read this article. It says TikTok's new CEO brings Hollywood connections, ByteDance loyalty. And this is from the yahoo.com, right? It says loyalty, but it says TikTok picked an insider to lead its newly created U.S. business, choosing an executive with deep ties to the entertainment world and history reporting up to ByteDance Ltd's leadership. Adam Presser, a longtime right hand to the TikTok's global leader, Xiao Chu. Xiao Chu was tapped to lead the new entity, the officially dubbed TikTok U.S. Data Security Joint Venture LLC, which spun from the parent ByteDance to avoid the U.S. ban over national security concerns. But the top job puts pressure at the helm of the social media phenomenon worth at least $14 billion and used to be used by more than half of the USA market. But where it holds the immense social and cultural relevance, President of course, Donald Trump, right? DT, right? Has credited the TikTok with helping him reclaiming the White House in 2024. While the president is relatively unknown in many tech circles, has been near the pinnacle of the company and leading operations for several years, and was widely seen as the most influential United States-based leader at TikTok. He has long he's long been viewed as the key contender for the top job, according to a person familiar with the company, and is seen by insiders as United States extension of Chew, who is based in Singapore. But the presser has been reporting directly Chew, who in the return reports to ByteDance, the co-founder and chief executive Liang Rubo. To the person said, but the presser has deep ties to the entertainment world and experience working in China. But he attended Harvard Westlake in Los Angeles, but one of the city's most prestigious high schools, before going on to attain both undergraduate and graduate degrees from Yale, where he studied Chinese languages and literatures, Eastern Asian studies. Pressers then went on to the Harvard Business School, of course, a business school, and Harvard Law School. Yeah, it's one of them ones on the top, the elites, of course, another puppet. After a few years working at the Ticketmaster Entertainment in corporate, but in China, Presser spent more than 5 years at the Warner Media and eventually becoming the executive vice president of the company's international operations, including China. He joined TikTok in 2022 as the chief of staff to the CEO, was appointed to the head of operations the following year, taking on more influence and including working closely with TikTok's teams focused on content creators. But Presser continued to climb internally, add trust and safety responsibilities to his remit in March in 2024. But according to LinkedIn, it was around the time that Congress has passed a national security bill requiring TikTok to sever ties with ByteDance in the U.S. market, or face a ban, making the work of TikTok's U.S. ban data protection arm. But USDS a top priority. Presser took over the general manager leading the TikTok's USDS while dealing negotiations were underway, but telegraphing his eventual appointed as the CEO of the new joint venture. And it goes on, et cetera, et cetera. So, TikTok is going on the fire. They want a Hollywood style type platform. So when TikTok wants to be Hollywood, that means they're going to control everybody's data. So power outages and data. And then let's talk about this right here. CNBC, they said TikTok users are deleting the app with removals up to 150% following U.S. joint venture. And then we talk about Hollywood, right? TikTok users has been deleting the app at a higher rate since the company announced that the U.S. operation would be housed in a new joint venture. But the daily average of the U.S. Users deleting TikTok has increased nearly 150%. 150% over the past 5 days. This article is by Zach Valsey at CNBC. He wrote this, of course. In the past 3 months, in the market intelligence for Sensor Tower to told CNBC, some of the users that took social media to voice their skepticism about the new joint venture, but after being prompted to agree to update privacy policies on Thursday, all right? But TikTok users have been deleting the app at the higher rate since the company announced the U.S. operations would be housed in a new joint venture. But daily average U.S. users deleting it, yes, 150, blah, blah, blah. Last Thursday, TikTok said it formed a joint venture to keep the video sharing app operating in the U.S. under the new American leadership. Now, you notice TikTok is competing against YouTube. YouTube is the biggest video sharing app of all time since it's controlled by Google, right? They call the term social media was coined when YouTube tried to enter the social networking space. That's when they coined the phrase social media. I started hearing that term in 2012. When TikTok came, notice the difference. They were trying to be a competitor to YouTube years ago in 2019 by those other guys from that dude Australia trying to promote it, and TikTok got blown up during the pandemic era. So the pandemic era, everybody loves to use it. Ever since then, they try to ban it during 2 years ago during the election, because we got midterm elections here in Georgia. But here it's just crazy. See, 2022 was midterms here. The last time we had midterms, that was years ago. And now we have it in 2026. So your boy's being depleted, of course. He's out of there. It's a lot of things going on. But I'm just saying, TikTok seems like it's no more. It's going to be a dead site. No more YouTube competitorship. So what happens if TikTok disappears? I'm just saying. Somebody's getting paid. I'm just saying it's they said it's a great app to do business. Yeah, you doing TikTok, but TikTok is gonna be censored. It's gonna be like YouTube, but worse. Ain't nobody gonna migrate over there. It's bad enough over here, but damn, censorship, it's not good. It's not good for TikTok. They're done. That means YouTube won the battle. Some users took social media to voice their skepticism about the new joint venture, blah, blah, blah. Privacy, yeah, of course, data, and all that. You don't need it. Collecting, including sensitive information such as racial or ethnic origin, as well as sexual life or sexual orientation. But the status of T gender, right? I ain't gonna say transgender, they say, or non binary citizenship or immigration status or financial information. That's why they delete it. It's those folks over there, the others, like we like to call them over here. But the site social media uproar, that language does not appear to be new. An archive version of the policy from August 2024 includes same provisions, but those concerns appeal to have weighed on the sentiment around the app after the announcement of the joint venture, contributing to spike in uninstalls over the past several days. That's not good for TikTok. TikTok is done. As quiet as we leap, this is not good for them. And yeah, in several days, it's not good because when you have a app of a company that's saying fuck TikTok. TikTok is done. They're not gonna last that much longer if they keep doing the things they're doing. I don't see TikTok lasting about 10 years from now because YouTube is like a global media thing. They in the TV, they in everything. Google then got massive. I don't see TikTok thriving because after that, when America hijacks them, it's gonna be another control entity that people don't want to fuck with. It'll be equivalent to Facebook and X, and they don't want to deal with that. Blue Sky ain't it. It's not that much network out here, so they're going to have to create another app to divide people, but it can't come from China, and that's another thing. And I think that's part of the reason why the internet is somewhat dying, but it ain't really dying. It's just it's not that much platform. Okay, it's not that much. It has to have a great appeal. What's going on? So yeah, the internet's the modern day weapon. The current administration is finished. I don't see them lasting, and they're out of there. They can't do nothing no way. So I see a small civil war brewing, and like Sarge is saying, it's over. It's been it's been a time. It's been a time, and then you got people say, I'm going to talk about the Castanet probably a couple more minutes and get my thoughts on him trying to do the fashion world. Yeah, the French control the fashion world. And these are all business like that, and especially on the internet, like TikTok and things like that. TikTok is a giant for children. It targets children of all things. And short form content is bad. And I think that's a good thing. If it disappears, that means the people that struggle with short form content are out of there anyway. So it's over for Gen Z. It's over for them because they act like just like, Gen Xers used to be revolutionary, but did they like short form things in the short time and in commercials? Yes, they were guilty of it too. I'm comparing the two because they're very similar. Our generation that I viewed as Generation Y is in between those generations, like 85 to 94. That's what I viewed. The rest of them, not so much. They could be in between us, but they also have Gen X mindsets. Think about it. If you was born 1984 to early 80s, and the cutoff is like 80 or 81 or something like that, y'all Gen Xers. And Gen Xers that there are millennials, like, I hate the term millennial, but Generation Ys can be easily be 82 to 84. But we're an extension of Generation Y, a new future, because we're a whole generation. So yeah, the cutoff to me, I cut it off since 1994. 95, I can't relate because they haven't seen it because they grew up in the Gen Z. Gen Z really started in 95. A lot of people try to say 97, but I'm going to say 95 because that's technically Gen Z. To me, it is because it makes sense because they have a Gen Z mindset. And that's a damn shame that if you look at the Gen Xers and Gen Z, they have the same mindset. Yes, they do drugs, and yes, some that were decent that didn't do drugs. It's two types, and then you got the types that do drugs. It's obvious. They have poor attention spans of reading, the younger generation, which is sad. A lot of it is a combination of a lot of things. Technology is a piece of it, but it's not all technology. No, it's just bad parenting, soft parenting. I mean, should I say, excuse me, finesse parenting. Finesse parenting is real. I call it finesse parenting. They call it gentle parenting, but to me, it's more finesse, not physical parenting. Because finesse parenting is the worst thing you do to a child, and then they grow up to be soft anyway. They don't want to take accountability. They don't want to be extractive and things like that. And the reason I bring those articles up about TikTok, I think they're finished. It's not looking good for them. So I remember I talked about this. They try to compete with YouTube. Yeah, they compete with Instagram, but technically they compete with YouTube with the short form content because YouTube try to compete with TikTok, but I don't think TikTok is going to make it. They're not a site that's built on long lasting content. Long form content will always be king if you have something informational to say. See, putting a long form content on a pre-record is cool, but live streams is what to do it. People listen to live streams. I just don't do panels no more. The last time I did panels was probably 5 years ago. About 5 or probably 6. Is it 5 or 4? I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I think I stopped doing it in 2022. That's when I stopped. I think it was about 4 or 5. Yeah, about 5 years ago, something like that. I didn't do none in 2023. I don't think I remember. If I did, I had to see what videos, probably a different series, but I didn't do a lot of panels. I stopped doing that in 2022. Like hosting a lot of people on panels, I would say 2022, but a one-on-one session, probably 2023. And I kind of stopped. And I used to do that 5 years ago on 2021. It'll be August in 5 years. But I realized it's just bullshit. I stopped caring at a lot of things what people saying because people would be on some other shit. I was on some different shit. Talk about philosophy, little politics, there and there, what's going on. And people are crashing out because, oh boy, is president again because of our same ways. A lot of people like that. But I look at things like TikTok is not the future and it will never be the future because then they try to say, oh, it's red pill space. No, it is. It's these kids not learning enough. They're not reading. Just where I just read the articles, how I read okay and precise like that. See, I didn't used to read like this. It took years to a skill like this. I've been a good reader. I've read anything that I get my hands on. So I've read some things. Ugh. But that's the whole thing. I've been doing the microphone thing for like at least 5 years. 2021 when I started, and I said, "Man, this is a different type of content." And it was a easy transition. It was hard at first, but it got easier when I got the right stuff that I need to talk about and things like that. So I've been having interface things like the longest. So it's like it's good, but I've been taking care of my stuff and that's it. But I'm gonna get right into it. But things changed. Things changed. And I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of things you can just come by and just be like, well, damn. But the Castanet thing, him doing the clothing thing, I think a lot of people say it's far fetched. I think he is, they use the word performative, right? Who cares if he's performative? At least he's teaching them little young niggas how to read. But dudes like him, I just don't fuck with, man. I don't understand why y'all love this dude that be streaming. He's the most popular streamer in the whole wide world. And then y'all act like he the shit. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Like that dude cut his dress for no reason. And this Don nigga trying to say he's going bald. How you know he's going bald? That nigga ain't going bald. That nigga's got issues. Them dreads and cornrows make you go bald. I didn't go bald when I started wearing a lot of wave casts. I used to have a wavy hair and it was a little curled on the side, but my hair was straight and curly. It was thick. Lost that shit in my late 20s, early 30s. I've been bald since. I shaved it all off. I use Bald Buddy. If y'all want to ask, they said, "Sir, why you bald?" I choose to be bald. That's ain't got nothing to do with genetics. I have good genetics. I just want to be bald. I just got tired of the hair. It's a lot of maintenance. That's why I wear hats in public, and sometimes I take it off if I'm in a nice setting. If I know somebody, I'll show my bald head, but I'm not gonna show it all about because you got some weird ass people try to rub your head and shit. I ain't got time for that. That's why I wear a hat mostly, for my own protection. Um, I said, "Oh, he looks good in a hat." Well, I wear a hat anyway, ball cap, whatever. I like wearing hats. That's just me. Fuck what people talking about. I don't mind wearing hats. That's my preference. When we become obsessed with hair, that's some same sexual shit. Ain't nobody that gay ass shit, bro. Fuck out of here. You know, a lot of these people that be online is weird. They're same sexuals. I'm assuming that these dudes are same sexuals. They said, "What do you mean by that?" They're same sexuals. They like boys. They don't like no females. These dudes call like, "I support women," but you gay as hell, man. No one gives a fuck about you. Especially Don's ass. Come on out, bro. It's over. It's 2026. We know you ain't regular. I don't use the word straight. That applies to them. He's straight boo boo over there. We know Don's for entertainment, but he's the same sexual man. Everybody knows that. Don's a clown. Ain't nobody take him serious. But I'm using him as an example what he said about Kai. I don't even like Kai not like that. I don't even care for dude. I say, hey, if he wants to get in clothing, let him get in clothing. It's over. But I get so tired of these dudes complaining about another man's looks, man. That's what females do. That's what gals do. Excuse me. But you got these boys out here tripping about a lot of shit, but don't understand that that shit is weak, man. Who does that? Like, I'm just keeping it. Who does that shit? That's some weak shit. Crying about meats and shit. Like, dudes, y'all weird. That's these dudes on the internet. Like, they're chronically online. I'm not like that, thank goodness. But damn, is it that bad where you at? I don't care if a dude's married, but he weird, bro. He's like, I'm not weird. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm not weird, nigga. I'm not weird. I'm like, nigga, you weird. You on some bullshit. He's a Batiman Dalum. He said he's Jamaican. Well, Don, you on some Batiman things. Is your son a Batiman? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's crazy. Big man things. But these dudes are crazy, talking all that shit, man. Talking about another dude's looks and hair. And selling hair products like hoes, man. Get out of here, man. These dudes are clowns, though. I just don't take these dudes seriously. I really don't. Like a lot of times, these dudes when they get emotional, they be on some same sexual shit, and they be like, "I ain't on this, shit, but I ain't on this." You know, like, come on, bro. Yes, you are. I'm normal. I was like, nigga, no, you're not normal. You be worried about another man's head and his looks. Females do that. Dudes don't do that shit. That's what's wrong with these dudes, especially in these spaces, especially these dudes say they ain't in the red pill space, but you using our lingo, using our shit. God knows better. I don't care if he was a conservative. He was a cuck conservative at that. Because females don't care about Don like that. Sorry, he's not the most handsomest dude, and I ain't gonna say I'm the most handsome myself, but I'm just saying, but dude, you ain't all that, bro. You just a light skinned Jamaican, want attention, then you wear tattoos looking like a gal, like these modern day Gen Zers. Because most of y'all got tats anyway. Y'all weird, and y'all been turned out by the system, and we see it, and just come on out that y'all don't like females, and I get it, and that's a problem in the red pill space. Like, yeah, we like the females. We critique them on the feminist stuff, good arguments, but then you got the rabbit simps who ruin everything. And I look at these things, I'm like, dude, this is nothing special. Y'all act like this thing is grand, but I just looked at his videos and he's just crazy. And some people was dissing him in the comment section. He said, delete this vid, man. To my guy, he said, this ain't it, and it wasn't it. It was funny though when he talked about him and he act like he know, dude. Ain't nobody using no damn moisturizers. So it's kind of crazy what you see right now. Yeah, Yeah, I'm just looking at it from different angles and things like that. But yeah, but you got dudes like him. It's bad enough. Like the red pill space been hijacked by these weirdo simps and these losers out here. And especially if they're married, they're still a bigger loser than any of us here. And it's crazy. And I'm just looking at it like, okay, this is gonna be a problem. And I look at these things and like it's the collapse of a country and you see these things, you just go crazy. But me personally, I've been doing this thing for like at least 5 years and talk about various things, comments, and conversations, and we've done so much, especially on this channel. Um, I talk about these things that matter. Survive, have your mind right, have your spirit right. Not here to sell you anything crazy, but just looking at what's going on here. Trying not to doze off. I said, damn, brain fatigue. I do get enough sleep. Sometimes you get drained doing shit and you just get bored out your mind and shit. But I look at these things that comes into packing and fruition. So, you know, I look at these things like everybody's got TikTok, right? And you got 150% of people deleted. That's a huge, huge number. It's a lot of users, over billions of users of new people. They still play it. Because any words, it's moot at this point. And I'm just saying to myself, what the happened to those people? And then we just go in there and people just be asking, what happened to TikTok? Because a year for two or now or 5 years now, that site will cease to exist. If it got bought by some people that have a Hollywood touch, oh, it's over, bro. But I'm just looking at it like, okay, this is what we own, and I don't know. I don't know. But I just look at these things and just like say, oh, this is gonna be a problem. And this is gonna be a problem. So I look at that and I just like, okay, this is gonna be a huge, huge problem. Huge problem. And I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be a thing. Let's see something real quick. Image. Yeah, it's just like I'm just looking at what's happening right now. But yeah, that situation in Minnesota, I say you reap what you sow, and I don't feel sorry what's going on up there. It's just wild. Let's see what I can do. Trying to see if I can save something. Hold on. I didn't mean for the pause, but but it's been going on. Like I try to tell you, 2026 is a different year because the March is that year when the new year you'll see the first murder of in America and in the States or whatever. Let's see something real quick. Edit. I'm just looking at what's going on. I know. Let's go to Wiki. Deal with it later. Let's see something real quick. See some real quick. I was trying to find some, but I'm gonna say fuck it. I was trying to look for an icon for this conversation, but you know how this shit goes. Yeah, it's always some shit. They got the second game. They need to update their shit, bro. Damn. I'm gonna have to do something. This is getting pissing me off. I was trying to find an icon, but I can't find it. That's the downside with the internet. You try to look for an icon, and then this shit pisses me off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so tired, bro. And I was trying to keep the conversation going, but you know how it goes. It just pisses me off half of the time. Like, that's why I hate the internet half the time. You try to find an image and you're in this shit and it just pisses me off. Like, it's one of those things, man. Like, you're just trying to find your way. But it's a small rant. I don't give a fuck. So it angers me though. Like, you know, like the situation we're in, like it's a pathetic era that we're in. So I'm just looking at it like this. Try to survive, you know, try to keep your mind straight, you know, these pathetic times that we're in. But I just look at that, I was like, man, I don't know why people join TikTok. And I look at that, I was like, yeah, the whole half of the so-called red pill space, you know, they fuck it up for everybody. You know, these bitch ass simps, man. They're the main reason why we can't even go forward. Like, I mean, there's some men doing their thing. It's just I hate bitch ass people, man, especially on the internet, man. Like, it's gotten worse. Worse and fucking worse. Like, it's just disgusting. I fucking hate casuals. And I've always hate fucking casuals because they're a cancer. They just like they don't have nothing else to fucking do. Like, they just ruin every fucking thing. And it pisses me off. Like, that's the one thing I cannot stand. Like, that shit pisses me off way more than I don't know what to tell you. It just angers me to look at that. I'm like, man, why the fuck they do shit like that? And that's the shit that I cannot stand. Like, damn. It's like it's always some bitch ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just I'm just so tired, bro. Thank you. Here we go. Okay. Back to normal scheduled programming. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I'm just back in it. Oh, we're 39 minutes in. No, don't mind me. Shit. I'll try and get my mind right off this little. I'm gonna go like this. Get this out of here. Yeah. Just get this mind right. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. More like it for this conversation. I'm gonna start it off like this. I had to switch different icons. I had to try something new. I'm in a different stratosphere, you know. But when I look at this a situation with TikTok, you know, people getting upset, you know, they try to delete because they going against the main administration. You know, it's kind of funny. They try to say, "Oh, it's like this bunch of Gestapos and all that." You know, liberals always want to lie and shit. You know, I'm just gonna listen to SARS later after I'm done. But it's crazy, man. It's one of those things that people in this political climate is just crazy. It's just crazy though. But you know, in the sports, let's talk about sports a little bit. Sports, I mean, basketball is on fire. Let's talk about the playoffs, the NFL playoffs in particular. You know, basketball is one thing. I said that the Thunder may not repeat because this trade deadline ends at what, February 5th. Very interesting. Very interesting. I just don't see. people looking at basketball. Basketball's on a up and down decline because not just the current administration and others, but the money is different. And then you got this dude talking about sports. He talks about politics and games. So TBH, another clown, another casual I don't subscribe to, but he be in my algorithm, and I just watch him. And he be saying all types of crazy shit about the AI systems. Well, the AI systems don't really matter, unless they control some resource of another country and then try to sell it to you like a different price, and there it is. But since it's going to be a blue wave or so-called blue wave or clear wave, it could be one or the other. They're going to regulate all this shit. I'm just going to tell you right now, if the Democrats win this year or whatever, like I said, they ain't going to win. They're going to win because it's a repeat what we seen his first term, and they're going to try to clean this shit because they are upset. There's a lot of division amongst those people over there. That's why it's our job to stay out of it because we're not a part of it. Until so-called black people do not protest, do not do that bullshit. It's not going to help you. It's nothing wrong with protest. That was back in the day. We're talking about the 21st century. No need because terrorism is king. It's kingdom. That's what they promote. So that's what they want to promote. And you got to be mindful that people just don't care. Most people are nonchalant, just don't give a fuck about this shit. They just want to go war whenever. So you got to be careful. Like, we're in an era that people just don't care. And I think people are going to get super physical down the line, especially in the summer. It's going to be a grueling time. So I just don't expect people to change anytime soon. So, but when I look at the things I talked about, I talked early in the stream about billionaires dominating, doing what they're doing. It's not just they're ruthless. I said, you got to be ruthless to be. No, 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 no. I'll say a quarter of them can be ruthless, but the other half don't. They can be generous. But the thing about billionaires, they dominate person, place, things anyway. If you support their ecosystems like technologies and the stuff they buy, and no, I mean the stuff you buy, you're going to get into it, right? Just like in sports. Sports is one thing. See, basketball is $1 billion business, right? And you got billionaires want to make the game go global. It's already global. It's powerful, and you're getting all types of talent. They say you're not getting American talent. It just goes to show you that it's not even about that. It's about maintaining power. You get what I'm saying? Maintaining power is what matters. See, people look at things wrong and expect the global to change. But you got to look at this stuff and say, well, damn, I don't think this world will ever change. I was like, yeah, but you got to do your thing and change it. And you got to fight. You know what I'm saying? But that nurse that died, I told you about, it's just crazy. It's just crazy that people want to fight and protest, and then yeah, he took the gun off him and executed him like an animal. But in the sports world, the fans are like that. And if you look at sports, it's all restraint and finesse, right? But we'll talk about the football. Like, I've watched a lot of good football last season, last year, and then this year's playoffs has been fun. It's been incredible. Like, the first half, I thought my Eagles was going, but they got beat by the 49ers. 49ers was depleted. When George Kittle got hurt, oh, it's over. It's over. When he got hurt with that Achilles, it was over. And it was going to lose in Seattle. Now, Seattle beat the brakes off of them and sent them packing because they had home field advantage. And they just beat the Rams. Now, I had my second choice. I said the Rams was going to get it. But in reality, I want the Eagles to go further this year. But, the Rams beat the Bears. Now, they should have lost against Carolina, but Carolina was inexperienced. They didn't know how to execute. It's going to be very interesting. Houston did good this year's playoffs. This is without Patrick Mahomes. And Josh Allen, yeah, he cried like a little baby. Buffalo, they out of there. A lot of coaching changes, a lot of things going to come in this upcoming football season. But the Super Bowl is set. The repeat match when Richard Sherman were the defending champs. Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson, the most overrated quarterback of all time. I can't stand him. But I'm surprised that Pete Carroll screwed him in the Super Bowl. A lot of people try to say the Patriots cheated. Now the Seahawks gave New England the Super Bowl. I always tell people that when I was in the workplace. No, they gave him that Super Bowl. And this is why I don't fuck with Pete Carroll like that. He did that with Reggie Bush. And that's twice I said that shit. I don't care what nobody say. Here's the thing about running backs. That's him for you, bro. You always want to pass that damn ball and then, like, come on, bro. And that's how Brady got those championships. The Seattle and Atlanta, he gave that game away. And Atlanta definitely blew a lead. I don't fuck with Atlanta like that. And I knew Brady was gonna win that. So Drake May is gonna be interesting. The coach that won as a player, he'll be the first coach to win as a coach. He'll be the first person to be a player and a coach to win Super Bowls. He won three as a player, but if he wins ones as a head coach, it's historic. So he's playing for history, and Sam Darnold's playing for history. So yes, he beat Matthew Stafford. They didn't think Darnold was good. No, he's just a good quarterback. He was good in college. He was the third pick overall into 2018 draft. That's a good draft. That's a hell of a draft. Him and SGA. This is their era. They came in good drafts. And I'm telling you right now, he's the champion. If Sam Darnold wins, he's making history out of that draft. And you see if he exposed the Patriots. So you know how that goes. But the NFL has been in a good place, even though economics is up and down. But damn, man, this is something that you got to look at. These dudes be tripping in these chat rooms I'll be in. Let's see what's going on. It's been a lot going on, but yeah, man, we talked about a lot of things, and we talked about I said TikTok, sports. Yeah, the NFL's in a decent place, and I mean people are enjoying it. So it's just crazy, But when you look at things like that, I was like, man. But that's the sports world. So, but that's Super Bowl in my mind. I'm thinking about. I said the Patriots and the Seahawks, Sam Donald and Drake May. So you got an MVP. Now you got an up and coming superstar that's going to take the Seahawks to the next level. That's going to be an interesting game. Now, if the Patriots win, I'm not mad. Patriots should better do something about that. That's a whole nother. It's one of those things. I want to see something. Keep my icons and shit. Yeah. I won't keep this in the live stream. I'm gonna stick with beast mode. Yeah. In case y'all wondering, I got this from the Dying Light series, so don't pay attention to this icon, you know. But when you get beast mode, you just go crazy. He said he's got the zombie face. I said, yep, going crazy. But that's the whole point, you know. But yeah, that's all I got is the sports and a little bit of politics. But yeah, but you got these dudes that are anti red pill space. But I've been watching SARS for a minute, didn't been keeping up. Been watching some good football. You know, like I like doing these streams because you get the time that you're gonna get. Now, Black History Month is gonna be an interesting month. I call it so-called Black History Month because my whole channel is basically, you know, y'all can watch the old videos. They said, "Sorry, when you gonna do them videos?" I ain't gonna do them videos no more, man. That's the past. I ain't doing them shits. The fuck is y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about them videos? But it is what it is. Like I think people just look at these things in the situation. But what's going on in the world today is just it's crazy. You see these things and you just like, man, you just most people shake their head and be like, all right, this is gonna be a problem. But you keep this above board, you know what I mean? You just try to maintain your sanity and then there it is. You know what I'm saying? Like some things you just gotta go for it. Some things you gotta maintain for it. Now you're just trying to see where your head is at. So it's been a good week for me. Like I'm feeling great. It's just like you get so you don't get depressed, you just get tired of seeing crazy shit all the time. But SARS be going in, we be taking our time. It's just crazy, man. But in the background, you know, just it's insane. But yeah, this month's damn near about gone. Yeah, it's only 31 days. You know how that goes. 31 days. You know, the Pistons are I can't believe they number one in the league. Well, at the number one's best in the league, you know, just it is what it is. Yeah, Instagram's crazy too. I was on Instagram, like, man, you got all types of these things on here, man. These things acting crazy. Look for male attention. I was watching some of the guys at so called dating space and they claim to be red pill and shit. And they was talking about the men are checking out. They've been saying that shit since 2021. That Kevin saying shit ruined y'all's brains, man. I understand KS is y'all God and shit. Y'all crazy. But I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all tripping about him now. But yeah, he's been right. But I never fuck with dudes' content or anything. I'm just laughing at people just always trying to big him up. It's just crazy. And you just look at the things that's going on and you be like, all right, this ain't no KS shit. Yeah, you got all types of people acting weird on Instagram. Everybody tries to say I lost weight, and then you come to find out they they didn't lose weight for years and shit like that. They try to say evolution, but you know the females are funny though. They are kind of funny characters. The ones that were overweight, you know, dudes be picking on them in these spaces back in 2021. But now they lost weight. Now they try to look like stars. But I try to tell you, some of it's surgery, some of it could be real. But Instagram is a funny ass place. It's more entertaining than anything. It's not even a dating app. The app done went to shit since Zuckerberg took it down, censorship with that stuff going on in the East. And then Trump with that Greenland thing, they just looking for resources. That's all I can say about that. I'm not gonna get into that. You know, they looking for more. They say AI is gonna take over it. Well, that's gonna be regulated and gonna be back for it. And see, a lot of people try to say Democrats ain't gonna regulate. Yes, if they win, they're gonna regulate all this shit. So you ain't gonna have a lot of billionaires. It's gonna be those people that they talk about right now that was under Trump. Oh, they gonna get screwed in 2026. It's gonna happen. You ain't gonna see it, but if they do win and he tries to say they're gonna cheat, well, they ain't gonna cheat. They don't need to. They just gonna get rid of y'all. If something happened to him, it's over for them. I don't see them winning because it's the same elites are playing both sides, playing the proletariat whites, and they think that's bad money. They want money. You have to understand these people care about capitalism. Money is their religion. I always said utilitarianism is their culture. Capitalism is their religion. That's why Christianity is a tool. All these things are tools. All these idolaters, what y'all call religions and all that, those are idolatries. I call them tools of capitalism. See, capitalism runs like what you would say a culture, like a religion. That's their religion. But utilitarianism is their philosophy. It's a money thing, but they use philosophy to trick you to get you in. They say, you see that guy over there? He's a terrorist. He's a bad guy. We got to be happy in one way, the American dream. Because I'm utility. That's them white folks, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it's just what it is. I see it all the time. I see it in sports, pop, you name it. Everything doesn't go out of their mind and say, hey, this is it. but it is what it is. I've been on this thing for like an hour, so I'm gonna talk a couple more minutes because I was pausing in my thoughts, thinking about all the shit that happened this year, and it ain't getting started. We ain't made it to March yet because that's gonna be the real New Year starts where people stand at. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna really stand where they're gonna stand at. Because yeah, this stream we're gonna continue daily dump hump around February. I'll make some few adjustments, minor adjustments, but in March it's gonna be um I might end it in March, but I changed my mind in this stream. I might stop it in April. I'll say it like that in April. It's gonna stop in April. Now March, we're gonna continue in March. Let's see. See, so-called Black History Month, February and March. We're going to continue on in March. We're going to end it at April, and I'm going to pick a time. I won't end the series, but I'm going to start probably a series that's going to matter. I don't want to do Thursday, and it is what it is. So, hey, what's going on? Salute, salute, salute. But it's just one of those things, man. Like, I know people are tripping about the protest, the boy getting shot, and things like that. Like, he was a nurse, he was a gun owner. Like, look, it don't even matter. When I was listening to Sarge SWP, man, like the stuff he was saying that shit for years and years ago. When I was doing these live streams, talking about different things, talking about politics, what's going on. We was actually speaking the same type of language, and I understand what he's saying about the youth getting physical and there's no money in the economy. You already know what that is. It's gonna be all small skirmishes or civil wars. And they said ICE haven't been shot at. They try to say a lot. He said a lot of people don't report they don't have to be shot at. They have been shot at. Oh yeah, but it's going to continue. This is not, and the military can't do nothing because Trump done decimated the military. What it is now, it needs to be rebuilt after the election. Tell you that. What he's got now is a mess. He don't want that. They said they're gonna win. They ain't gonna win because he ain't able to win. He's gonna be ousted because in 2028, a lot of people waiting on the year 28. No, he's not gonna make it. Y'all think he's gonna make it? Y'all in for a surprise for the next 2 years. So let's see. We'll see. We'll see if we got to make it the year first. We got to make it 2026, the year that he's going to make it. Because if he doesn't make it, I'm not going to say much about it. I'll speak on it and I'll be like, I told you so. Told you so. But Daily Dump Hump talks about current events, talks about guys that be streaming all day and being chronically ill online and live online chronically. I never had those problems. See, I live my life and I don't do a whole lot of streaming like I used to in 2021. That was pandemic shit. People are stuck in them ways. They were so addicted at that time, and then they want to be stars and shit. I tell you, that streaming world is crazy. I would never do that. See, long live streams was beneficial in 2021. That's when it was beneficial. And then the year before that, that's when it was beneficial. See, people wasn't doing live streams. Live streams was a thing back then, in the 2015s and all that. See, 2014 and on up, it was not a thing. Everybody was doing short form content, short, long form topic. It was short to 15 minutes to almost an hour. Most people did 10-minute videos on YouTube. True, in the very beginning. And then you got people start doing long form content, be like 15 minutes to an hour. That's a whole nother story when they start adding and implementing space and phone numbers and things like that. That's how people's content got out. They do hour-long videos. See, live streaming is easier now than it was back then. So you can live stream it. You can hear me live. You can watch it on replay. You watch my old shit. I got so much shit you can just watch. But it's beneficial what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But you see this stuff and you be like, okay. But you got a lot of people just be online talking mad hella shit what's going on. And you be like, oh man, this is wild. This is wild. Oh, this is wild. But it is what it is, man. Like, and the situation going on with that ICE group, they're not real law enforcement. They're just appointed by the current administration. They're done. You know what I mean? Because Republicans want them motherfuckers out of there. They want their money. You see? They said they're scared of Trump. They scared of him for now. They really not scared. They know he's a lame duck. He's up out of there. It just goes to show you it's coming. 2026 is gonna be a hell of a year. It's gonna be an interesting year. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a great year. It's gonna be an interesting year, and you're gonna see some things that you never thought you're gonna see. It's gonna be a hell of a year. So yeah, live streaming is a thing. Live streaming is a thing in this current climate we in. Everybody's live streaming podcasts more than I ever thought. After that pandemic era, everybody started getting microphones and shit like that, and everything went up. But everybody missing 2021 and 2020. They missed them years. And then 2021 was hell of a year. 5 years ago, what I was doing, shit, I was getting views, acting crazy. People was watching me. I was having fun, man, living my life. You know what I'm saying? But them streams were they're easy to maintain to miss. But it's just the focus that you talk about things. And yeah, you had the panels and stuff. I did that thing. I did a whole lot. But when I look at the information when I saw from TikTok early in the stream, I said, look, TikTok is done. Hell, they can't even last so long. This is short for. I'll never forget this nigga said this 5 years ago. He said, it's gonna take over YouTube, which it didn't. Which it didn't. Trump destroyed that shit. You know what happened. He saved it during his 2024 election. But now TikTok has been trashed since the takeover. And now it's been bought by some Hollywood CEO guy, and then that site's gonna be controlled opposition like Disney, like you see in Google. It's over, man. Once the billionaires put their hands in it and they got it from another country, you already know what's going about to happen. Censorship. They're gonna block all types of stuff that's bad investment. People are deleting their files, and they're protecting their personal data. And I don't blame them. That's the whole point. And I get it. I get it. So with that, salute to Nomadic. Salute to you, man. Appreciate the ones in the sky watching, the ones in the clouds. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, this will be another one, but we'll talk about it the Wednesday after next, probably next month. I don't know when I'm gonna schedule it. Because it's not the end, because Black History Month, we're gonna be talking about different things. So-called Black History Month. I ain't gonna talk about my old content. Y'all can go watch it myself. I ain't got time to do all that. It's just some interesting things going on. And yeah. We'll see who wins this Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is on the 8th. We're gonna talk about it on the 11th. Yeah, I'm gonna put my shit on the 11th. Yeah, 11th. So we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna stay with, and it's short this year. Okay, so 25th. Okay, and talk about the 11th. Daylight saving times came early on the 8th. Interesting. Yeah, so with that, until next time, shalom to the people of Israel, to the Gentiles. Until next time, and I'll see y'all next month. And y'all enjoy your day. I'm signing off and I'm out.